Hey guys, video 10 in this series. I can't believe it's taken 10 videos to get this far. Thank you for those that are following us. What I figured out is that if you look at this radiator, I was talking to Colton from Champion Adventures. He's kind of figured out the same thing. With these rad guards that we have, if you look at the difference, the spacing, how far away, like if we butt that up against here, we're actually, the rads are quite a bit wider than factory. Colton mentioned, it's like, well, maybe you should get a set of R rads. And it's like, well, that's a great idea. I don't really want to do that. I want as much cooling as I can. But I see it might be the only way to get the tanks to fit without modifications. So that said, we're actually going to try modifying the tanks. I want to keep the stock rads. I'm on a budget as well, and I think I figured it out. And quite honestly, if I don't modify these, the tanks are junk anyway. So really, what am I losing? You know, MST refuses to answer my emails. They refuse to answer my WhatsApp. If you want their WhatsApp contact to give them, you know, to talk to them, just let me know. I'll be happy to give it to you. Anyways, so if I'll be back in a little bit. I'm not really going to show what I'm doing to the mods, because in previous conversations, MST was very interested in what I was doing, and I've seen they have since incorporated my ideas into their new design for a different product. So I think we'll just leave them to wonder how I did this. Okay, we'll be back with the left tank hopefully modified. So 3 hours later, we now have the tanks actually bolted in place for the first time. There's both sides have this gap going on. We're gonna fill that so to try and take the weight as much as we can, because right now the weight is just being held by the two side bolts on each side, and that's not cool. That is a floating mount there, so hopefully we'll get it we'll fill that gap and go from there. I'm gonna try to do it with some belting, but I'm not sure. So I had the clearance in there. That's my handiwork right there. And then we got this one. This is one of the ugly ones, simply because I had to move so much plastic without creating any leaks. It was a lot of fun. This one is nice because of the big hole in the bottom for the fuel pump, so I could actually get some spatulas in behind to form the plastic on the inside as well. That's the only one I could do that on. Running too long of a bolt right here, but here you can see what the issue is with that. I might actually increase the size of that hole just a little bit. It is clearing the tank, and I might get it to come in, might get this whole plate to sit up against the tank, and we'll see if we can't do that. Just give it some more vibration resistance. It'll also bring it in just enough that I think we're going to clear the skid plate on both sides. Gonna have to do a little bit of work here just to give it some clearance. I think I've mentioned it before, but we'll get to that. You'll see that later. This side, this was the big one. This took probably twice as long as the left side. I did the left side first and then went on to this one. This is the ugly one on this side, so both sides have an ugly one. We'll clean that up some, get rid of some of that marking in there. I actually had to reinforce that one just because I couldn't get behind it, so I reinforced it with some additional PE plastic. It's just colored white instead of translucent. So that was number one. This was the last piece that I did, because it after I was all said and done, I was all happy, everything was clearing, and I went to put the rad cap on, and the rad cap wouldn't fit. So now the rad cap has room. The rad can move around and not interfere with the tank. As you can see here, same thing. We've got a lot of room for the upper mount to move around. Again, recontoured all this. I'm really hoping this nut is on the right plane still. We'll see. That's actually one of the mounts for the Zeus fastener for the rad wings. Just gonna sit down here. So this is another one that I had to clearance. You can see it's really hard to get the camera in there at the right angle, but believe it or not, there's more than a cat hair's clearance in there. Going into this one, I actually used an old handlebar weight to get that to clear. And you can see there what I had to do. I had to move that out to get some clearance. Again, that's, you know, this was the new tank, guaranteed to drop right on. Liars. I don't know what else to say. You notice it's logoless now as well. There's no way in hell I'm advertising for those people. So that's another one I had to clearance, was the, there's actually 2 nuts on the clutch cover. I actually had to clearance that one just because I can't get the camera at the right angle. It looks like it's touching, but there's actually about 3 to 4 mil clearance here. On this guy, I'm gonna leave the skid plate completely together. Looking at a couple of the factory Hondas and a couple of the other guys that are racing Hondas worldwide, none of them have this. And it makes no sense. How are you gonna get an impact from the backside? And if you do, you probably have more problems than an impact from the backside. So we're going to use this mold line here, and we're gonna get rid of some of this. I might try to keep that just to keep that corner there to keep some strength, but we're not sure yet. So that does make a very nice line to cut to. So we'll see how that's gonna go. This is now no longer going to be, about the only thing left MST on this bike is now the fuel tanks and the skid plate, and both of those are highly modified to get to fit. The exhaust, we're probably going to switch that out to an SNS or a Vance & Hines, we're not sure. Simply because if you look how long this tailpipe is, it's to clear a rear tank, and this bike is probably not going to get rear tanks. It's going to stay like this. It'll be, you know, with 30 liters or 19 liters of range, it should have enough to do the specials in the regional rally that we're trying to go to. I'm pretty happy. I finally got the damn thing bolted on. It's been an absolute freaking nightmare to get this bolted on, but it's now bolted on. So this guy, we haven't changed that yet, but we've been just working on other things and trying to get all the customers' bikes you see in the background out. So that's about it for tonight. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. I love the little graphics other guys have. If you have one of those and you could send it to me, I'd really appreciate it. I think they're kind of neat. And that's about it for tonight. So thanks for watching, and we shall see you next time.